Jaco the Clown lives in a delusional world. Each Tuesday, also known as Jaco Tuesday, he is released from the safety of the Acme Mental Hospital in order to host his own podcast show, See My Mind. Welcome to the show.
Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to See My Mind, the greatest podcast in the world. I'm your host, Jaco. Since I receive thousands of fan letters here at the studio each week, I thought it would be insightful for me to open one of them and read it on the air. This letter is from Elena, all the way from Central Greece. She writes, Dear Jaco, I desperately want to attend one of your motivational speeches. I'll fly anywhere in the world. Just tell me where I can purchase a ticket. Sincerely, Elena. Well, Elena, I no longer book motivational speaking engagements, but I'll have my engineer Bobby send you a signed copy of my first book entitled Emotional Bleeding, so you can work on saving yourself right from home. And, Elena, be sure to have a full box of tissues nearby when you begin reading. Now then.
Jaco, we're actually ready for the hypnosis segment now.
I haven't even begun rolling yet, booby.
I'm sorry, Jaco.
Jaco, we need to move to the hypnosis segment now. Get comfortable and close your eyes, and when you hear the snap of my fingers, you'll be deep asleep, but still able to hear my voice. And... Now, Jaco, I want to take you back to your days as a big wave surfer.
I tamed the largest and wildest waves on Earth each time I went out there.
How did you get started surfing, Jaco?
Well, if you want to go all the way back, I was born right on the sand on a beautiful beach in the Maldives, much like a sea turtle. I began surfing later that afternoon.
The ocean is so big and scary for a little boy. Was someone always with you in the beginning?
I always preferred to be alone, Dr. Snedley. Just me, the ocean, my surfboard, some righteous waves, and my deep thoughts. Highly ethereal. I took to it like a fish to water.
And when did you begin surfing the big waves, Jaco?
Oh, it was right from the downbeat. I'd spend all my time in the water, selecting only the biggest waves. I was instantly a local legend, but I wanted more. So I moved to Portugal, where the waves were much larger. Right away, the local pelicans and great white sharks became my best friends. We developed our own language.
Pelicans and sharks were your best friends? What does that even mean?
It means what it sounds like it means. Let me spell it out for you. I spoke with the pelicans and sharks about everything from the weather to politics. I knew all their names. The pelicans were particularly helpful in my wave selection. They could see the sets coming in before I could, And the sharks, well, they're just big lap dogs. They taught me how to loosen up and just have fun. And they really helped me with my diet for competitions.
That's unbelievable, Jaco. How did the sharks help you with your diet?
First of all, they got me off tap water. That was a game changer. From that moment on, I drank nothing but seawater. They also introduced me to kelp for fiber. In exchange, I would bring them their favorite snack, Twinkies and popcorn. They loved eating it right out of my hand.
When did you begin competing?
I was probably around 6 or 7 when I began competing in big wave surf competitions. I dominated right from the get-go. But I really ramped up my surfing game when I designed my own surfboard made of magnesium. A 25-footer. I wouldn't even bother surfing any waves under 50 feet in size. In no time at all, I set records on all 7 continents. Out of all of them, Antarctica was my favorite continent to surf. Abundant wildlife and extra tasty seaweed.
50-foot waves?
Those were the smallest I'd ride. I much preferred the 100-footers. With waves that big, the updrafts were too strong for helicopter assistance, and the sea was too dangerous for jet skis. So I had to drop in by fixed-wing aircraft with my board, tucked under my arm. My competitors, if you want to call them that, would begin wetting themselves whenever the waves were over 20 feet, so they all just sat on the shore watching me out there all by myself, just showing off for my sponsors.
Who were your sponsors, Jaco?
I had many. Let's see, there was the Lorenzi Brothers Mortuary and Cremation Services. There was Toys R Us. And perhaps my favorite sponsors, Harriet and Myrtle Stankowski. They owned H&M Taxidermy Services and specialized in humans. A lovely and thriving business. There were others, too many to count.
When did you finally stop competing?
Well, once I realized that the competitions were really just solo exhibitions, I'd had enough. I bid goodbye to my pelican and shark friends, and I hung up my surfboard. By then, I'd earned enough prize money to last a lifetime. I ended up giving most of it away for the purpose of manufacturing and distributing left-handed pencils.
That's just an amazing story, Jaco. Well, thank you for sharing it with me once again today. You created such a beautiful painting of your days as a big wave surfer, and I know you want to see it, so let's bring you back now. Okay, look deep into my eyes, and when I snap my fingers, you'll be on stage in your unveiling theater. And...
Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Good evening, everyone. But I'll never forget my days as a big wave surfer, setting records on all 7 continents that will never be broken. Well, it's now time for me to pull the cord to reveal my masterpiece painting entitled Big Wave Surfer.
And so it was. Please stay tuned for next week's episode of See My Mind, entitled The Cow Whisperer, starring Jaco the Clown.